I have my faith in a process that was established by the Federal Minister of Finance to address housing price concerns in Toronto and Vancouver, and it consists of representation from our city as well as from Vancouver and the other two levels of government. And as yet, they've had one meeting, and nothing has come back to me by way of recommendations as to what could be done by the province or by the city to address housing prices in Toronto. I will say that housing prices in Toronto, as they continue to escalate, are of real concern to me, not only because sometimes if it's representative of a bubble, bubbles can burst, and usually do. I'm not so much concerned about that at the moment because nobody's come and said it's a bubble at this moment, but I am concerned about the long-term effects of this on young people in particular who have an aspiration, as many do, to buy a house. And we have to look at the sort of generational impact that this kind of escalation can have on the simple ambition people have to own their own home in the City of Toronto, which is something we should want. I am not going to, at this stage, state that I have reached a conclusion myself based on what's going on anywhere, including Vancouver, that any particular tool or mechanism should be used to try and cool off housing prices. It's a complicated matter. You're dealing with a marketplace, and governments can only macro-manage things, not micromanage them. So I will await the work of this committee that Mr. Morneau, the Finance Minister, has established, and depending on what comes of that, we can consider measures at that time. But at the moment, we're not considering anything. And I think if you look carefully at what the Finance Minister for Ontario said, he only said we're going to be looking carefully at that and watching what happens, which doesn't suggest he's about to do anything that's immediate either. But are you worried that foreign home buyers will leapfrog across Vancouver because of this and then elevate our home prices? There's a fair amount of foreign buyer activity in the Toronto market right now, and one could speculate on what impact that is having on housing prices. I think housing prices were rising in Toronto as well because of the law of supply and demand. This is a fast-growing city, and that's a good thing. But I think, again, the purpose of this committee is to assess all of that. How many people are foreign buyers? How many of those homes are sitting vacant? What impact is that having on housing prices? What can we do about it, if anything, that's going to be effective? Because I think in the end, what people want to know is this. They want to know that if we're going to do anything, that it's going to be effective, not that we're going to do something for kind of show business or political purposes, or even for revenue generating purposes. I mean, they're less interested in us generating revenue and more interested in seeing that house prices remain as reasonable as possible. I'm also very seized, as you know, with the task of trying to increase the supply of affordable housing in Toronto, and we're making progress on that from a standing stop, and we're going to keep working at that over the next 2 years.